I'm starting the first week of The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, which was published in like 1992. Julia Cameron's like a fiction author, poet, songwriter, and filmmaker and playwright. I never heard of her before this book. A lot of big artists do it and they say that it changes their entire life. Like Doechii did it, and you can still find all of her videos where she goes and does it week by week. So I thought I would start doing like a video of like what I'm doing, like how far along I am in the course, because I started it Sunday last week, and like I thought filming it and like making videos about it would make me like actually stick to it. In the 12 weeks you do like what's called like a creative recovery, and it's basically not to like make you creative. Julia Cameron actually thinks that everybody's creative, like everybody is an artist. She even like has this thing that she calls like shadow artists. The approach to like creativity is like different. It's not like how to build a habit or something like that. It is about making habits and using certain tools just to constantly keep you like with a flow of creativity. So the two main things that you do in The Artist Way is morning pages, which is where you write 3 pages every single day, like just like stream of consciousness, and like just write everything. And sometimes I've been doing this for over a year now anyway. I did like kind of give it up for like a couple of months, but I did, whenever I did do it, it did make things a lot easier. And like I was on an art course and it made like planning things out easier, because like even if you just get up and be like, I have to do this, that and the other thing, it doesn't always have to be like you're having like these super emotional like super deep, well written, well structured type of like journal entry type of thing. And then the second thing that you also have to do, which this is the part I didn't do because I didn't have the book, is artist dates, which is basically where for like 1 or 2 hours every single week you go and do something that will like fill what she calls the creative well. So I mean, this makes sense. It's kind of like taking a break to like actually experience things in order to have like mental images or actual ideas to do it. Like the plan isn't necessarily to go out there looking for something or like to do things that will make you a better artist. It's just to relax yourself enough and like drink in like the scenery or like what you're doing, or like try to like enjoy life enough in order to want to make art about it. For this week I'm gonna go into the woods and basically just like sellotape every like whatever like plants, like leaves, whatever look interesting to me, like into my diary, like with no kind of like thought as to what I will really do. And then I just want to sit there without like my headphones or anything, or like looking at my phone, or just like distracting myself and really be in like that area and like remember what it's like to be in like nature kind of thing. It also in the weeks you have to do like these exercises. Most people don't do them all, but I'm doing at least 2 of them, which like the first one, like it has this thing where you have to talk about 3 creative monsters, which is kind of like a strong word for like somebody who might have just said something to you or whatever, or like something that would have held you back from being creative or like made you feel weird about like creative things that you were going to do. And it is like even doing the like exercises now is like helpful, because it makes you remember things that you might not have like thought about, and like it starts to make you realize like how much like something small or something that you think that you don't even care about anymore can affect you in the long term, and like how you feel about yourself and yourself, like your self-confidence and self-worth. Like for example, I was doing for my third one, it was about, I chose A-level art because it was the worst. And anybody will tell you that fucking A-level art sucks, and that if you really want to be an artist, it's probably not going to teach you anything you don't already know, because it's an underfunded, neglected subject in traditional schooling. I would say if you want to go and do art and you're like living in Northern Ireland, you should definitely just go to the tech. Don't bother going to high school for basically anything if you want to like actually like know the subject well, but especially art, because there, not only is it so underfunded, there's literally no equipment. We didn't learn how to use like oil paint like at all. We don't know how, like we did not do oil painting. We didn't even do like actual like drawing classes because you would need charcoal for that, and we did not have that much, or at least I don't remember doing it. We just didn't like. But the other problem is there's no equipment. There's also not a lot you can do. Like, you're not allowed to do a lot of things in A level art that you are going to be allowed to do in like a university, which is what you're trying to get into whenever you're doing A level art, but also just in tech, where you're not allowed to do certain things of your art. You're not allowed to say certain things. You don't want to offend certain people. You're not allowed to speak your own mind in an artistic way. They kind of just want you to paint a bunch of cows or like trees or whatever and have that be your piece. And then like, which is so annoying. And this has always annoyed me about like art, where you're supposed to like make a statement, but they don't want you to make, they'll tell you what statement you're supposed to make. Like, I remember like for boundaries, I wanted to do, I don't know, in hindsight, probably not a good idea because what the fuck did I know? But I wanted to do, they were like, I don't know, I was like, oh, I'll do the conflict in Ireland, and I'll like just study a bunch of murals and make like a type of mural art. I don't know how tasteful that would have ended up, but it was like what I wanted to do. And I also like wasn't happy with what they pushed me into. My art teacher was a really nice woman, but she made, and I mean, she made all the girls do fashion. You had to be very, very good in another area of art as a girl for her to let you do anything other than fashion, because you were doing fashion. You didn't have a choice. Like, you can't, like, the thing is that it was great, like, for mixed media. Like, for mixed media stuff, you can get loads of points for doing fashion because it's already mixed media. But I did not do well in the first like part of art, and I'm actually really interested in fashion now and interested in textiles now, and it definitely taught me how to be good at sewing, even though it was so tedious. But I did not get good marks on that, and it was because they forced me to do it and they didn't let me explore my other options, and they kind of like put me into a box, and I felt like, and it's kind of, it has affected me in the long term, and it's not just that, but it's a lot of things about like being a capital F, capital A female artist. So this annoys me. Even tech kind of did this, but they weren't like it. It's not that anybody means badly by this, but I hate how, as like a female artist, you're constantly talking about how hard it is to be a woman, or whenever you like do English lit, you are constantly talking about like politics in general, but it always seems like you're talking about the horrors of being a woman and like how people look down on a woman. It feels like every essay you start off about textiles is justifying yourself for even doing the medium because it's considered feminine. And she was asking me to write about that after she forced me to do fashion. Like, I didn't want to do fashion, and the whole reason she made all the girls do fashion is because that's what she made them do. And I'm supposed to talk about how, like, I'm supposed to talk about punk fashion, how it's it's fighting against sexism. I'm currently, you were like, how does that make any sense? Like, it felt like such a slap in the face because, like, okay, we can do that, but you are literally, because of sexism, you have forced me to do fashion. And now I'm talking about how it's okay to wear trousers, which I don't think you believe in. But, like, that's, my problem is that I feel like I will constantly be addressing, like, and this doesn't just like go for being a woman, but constantly being addressing the fact that I am a woman every time that I enter a room that is in a creative or respected space ever. It just feels like part of being like one of the things that makes being a woman so hard is the fact that you will always be labeled a woman, in the sense that it's like not seen as like as good, I don't know, not as deep, not as smart, not as this, that, and the other, which is always so annoying to me that art is still such a male-centric and like misogynistic space, despite the fact that most people who apply for art courses and A-level courses with art are women. Most of the people who do art now are women. More women do art than ever, more women do more creative like subjects than any like men, like just like the fact that we make over half the population, but the fact that we're more comfortable doing it, and yet that we're still, this is still like fields that we are like treated as less than or like not as valuable, despite the fact that we kind of have the monopoly on not only the types of art that get made, but like what type of art gets popular in general. And yet we like, it's still this constant thing where like feels like if you don't acknowledge like how hard it is and like how this like you're making like it feels like that you're almost asking like I just feel like the most interesting thing about me isn't the fact that I'm a woman, or like that's not what makes me an artist or what makes me an interesting artist. It's just I have more interesting things to talk about, and that's still hard to say because so much of my art I think obviously does relate to me being a woman, but there is like a sting to it where you're like it feels like while you're acknowledging sexism, you're almost reinforcing it in a way by like it feels like we're still labeling textiles as a feminine thing. I feel like we're still not really like given the same respect as men. Anyway, uh so that was one of the exercises I did. So like I did obviously have a lot of thoughts. There's like other exercises in here too. It's not just like who's all the haters, like who's all the people who like told you you'll never be fucking nothing. Um it has like says like you can write a horror story about it, but it also says to like name like a bunch of people who like uplifted you during like your art development and like what they said to you and how much that means to you. And then I haven't done that part yet, but I'll get to it. So another thing that it teaches is affirmations. I was the most skeptical about this because first of all, kind of unavoidable part of like the artist way. It's God is here a lot. Like he is mentioned all the time. Like a lot of the affirmations even are being like, I will be of service to God through art. The, Julie Cameron says even in the start of this book, it is about like there is an aspect of spirituality. You just can't avoid that part. You kind of have to. She says that you need to entertain the idea that there is a creator in order to just get through the book because why not? Like if you're an artist, pretend. But like uh she basically says um you kind of just take what resonates. So you don't have to like believe in God in order to do the thing. It's just that you need to like believe that there is some sort of divinity in the world, or there's things that suggest that there could be more to life than just, you know, like they're not like being a creator, or like that there's no like I think that like just for the fun of it, like it's telling you to believe in destiny and like that there is a bigger purpose and believing in divine things in order to really appreciate them. In saying that, it is good to do the affirmations and take some of the ones that like she does in the book, because she even says you don't have to like do all of them or like take everything from this book, but you will find a lot of value in trying out a lot of the different things. So just like how you don't have to really do all the exercises in every week, you still just have to do your morning pages and definitely do your artist aid. um it's like it teaches you to like talk more positively to yourself. Like I've even noticed like I'm not as hard on myself as I was before. Like I can keep trying, and even like in the past week it's been a lot easier to do and like get through certain projects because I'm not worried about all the other stuff that I need to do, or if I'm doing it well enough, or if like I've got like if I've got enough of it done. I just know that I have to keep doing it and do it because why not, and also because I believe in myself more now. The thing is that she does mention like other things that you can do. It's just that I'm not very sure. Like, I think you just have to figure out like what's going to work. Because she even says like doing 10 minutes of like listening to music can help. Um. So anyway, I'm gonna do that artist aid tomorrow, and then start reading the stuff for week 2, and then hopefully be ready to do week 2 by the time that week 2 happens. So I went on my artist date earlier, but like I think I said I wanted to go into the woods, but like there were like children in the woods and I was intimidated, so I didn't go in there. Being a problem. And like luckily for me there wasn't actually that many people about. I've been trying and basic another reason like I wanted to do like the video project thing where like I do it to check in every single week and make sure that I'm actually like sticking to it is because I also want to get better at like documenting things and like get better at like filming things and editing things. Not that I'm like going to be doing a whole pile to them. It's just that I want to like get better at that, because like whenever you do like art courses or like writing courses or any like artistic driven stuff or like media stuff, they tell you that you need to like show your process, but I've never been able to do that. I always used to forget. But like there is a point to that. Like if you have like an actual portfolio that you need to send on, you need to like show people how you got to that point, and it would also is also just helpful for you to remember how you did it. Like a lot of the time, it's okay to just take notes of what you're doing, but like it would be better if I had like a visual image for like what I was doing at the same time. I'm also trying to try out doing different media stuff, like trying to like try different ways of getting like my art out there. I started like an art Instagram not that long ago, and basically my plan for it was just to like go through everything that I did in the art course and then post that, and then just kind of hope that that's okay for a while I figure out what I'm actually doing right now and like where I'm gonna go from now. All I really did was like make, okay, it kind of like looks like a mess because it's like covered in sellotape. It doesn't look that bad on camera, but like whenever you look at it in person, there's like this white filmy stuff on top of it. My plan is to slaver it in PVA glue, because why not? But like also then it'll be easier to press the tape down into the flowers and kind of like get them to almost. I've done this before where I just kind of put the plants in there already and sellotape over it and then hope over time that they will get squished down instead of just flower pressing it like a normal person, because I know I'll forget about it otherwise. But like whenever you put glue on top of it, then it kind of gives it this weird smeary bit like thing, especially if you're um like really pressing down and messing with it. So like the point of like doing the artist is not like necessarily to like think of like to make new projects for yourself, but I was thinking like then once I had that like all dried out and like seeing how it looked and like if it worked out, I could try try get back into painting, and like I want to try and paint the patterns and like like the way that it would look, and then slowly work up to putting that on like this really small A5 canvas I got from like Tesco. I'm also planning on doing like exercise, like not it's not like an exercise from the artist way. I just like it's something I want to do where it'll help me, I think, as a writer, like set up atmosphere and scenery and like setting and like what actually like it looks like. So basically like all I have to do is like go through and from memory describe like what the sensations were that I was experiencing, like what I could see, and like describe how it looked and how it felt in the weather and like the smell and all of that. I kind of felt like I didn't like I felt better after I did the artist date. This kind of like segueing into check-in, because obviously I did my artist day, so I did like the one part of the week that I was supposed to do. I did all 7 days of morning pages. I like I said, I did morning pages before. I was pretty good at being consistent about it, but I would always like miss out a day, and I almost missed out a day, but I'm not counting it because I still did the pages. Um, on Saturday, so yesterday, I forgot to like write in my morning pages, or I just like couldn't. I don't remember why I didn't do it, but I just didn't do it. And then I got home from work and I was like, well, I guess like there's not like I've heard before that some people don't even do them in the morning, like they'll still do it in the afternoon. It's like it does the same job, and I'm like, okay, fair enough. Like it is just supposed to be stream of consciousness writing. It's just better to do it in the morning. So I wrote out the 6 pages, and whatever, because I've decided like even if it takes me longer to like even if I have to try again or I'm not doing it exactly right the way I was supposed to do it, I can still like make up for things like that. I can still do these practices that I need to do for myself. It's just that I don't need to be so like just because I've missed one day or just because I didn't do it at a certain time doesn't mean that I have to give up forever, or like that I stopped doing it completely, because that's what kind of happened with the morning pages before. It had been 8 months and I hadn't wrote anything. For the artist date, obviously this like the first week, and like it tells you to also like think about like what the struggles were of like just starting to do it. It was like Sunday, so like the last possible day that I could have done it. I did have like one other day off, and like I had plans to try and do it after work, but it's hard. Even like something like just going out to like the park or like going to the woods for like maybe an hour or 2 hours is like hard to do. It's like harder to do than you would think it would be. Like, and I know that's like kind of a part of the obvious, because a lot of the time, like the part of the reason that you're not doing creative things for yourself is just because you feel like you don't have the time or you don't have the energy. And then the same thing kind of goes for like not really having, like I've had like a problem of like not having the energy to even like engage with art in general. Like I'm not even, I can't, like I can't bring myself to even like watch new TV shows sometimes, because I'm like, well, I'm not ready to learn something new. I just want to watch American Dad over and over and over again. It's almost like I feel like I don't have the mental energy to even deal with it, which like maybe just, I don't know where my head's at. It's the same thing for like doing anything for myself, like where I'm not like, it was weird to go out for something because I walk all the time, and like one of the like exercises was to walk for 20 minutes, and I was like, I've already got that covered. I'm walking, like I'm spending most of the day walking. It's weird to go out and walk somewhere and like go for a walk somewhere without having to like anywhere to actually go. Like there's no point of it. It's not like to do something for somebody or go somewhere for some reason or to get somewhere. It's just to be like go for a walk in general. And I think it did kind of help to clear my head. While I was walking there, I was like thinking about all the ideas that I could do and like the other exercises that I could do. Because I know in the long run, if I actually put the energy into it, and like the very like it's it'll be worth it in the long run. And if anything, the reason why I might be feeling so exhausted and like so like apathetic and not like in the mood to do anything is because I'm just constantly like not doing like anything to like relax, or like um that I'm not really engaging with art in the way that I should be. Like it would probably do make me feel better, the things that I would actually enjoy doing. Also on the note of like like trying to get into the morning pages, I basically like also have gotten into the habit of like trying to make sure that I do something, even like if I don't feel, I have the habit of like starting a lot of projects and then never finishing them, because I kind of like I don't do it for a while and then I'm like, oh well, it's too like I don't really want to go back to it, and I've got so many other things I've got like going on. And I was hoping that this would help me like start just making things like again, or like just not seeing it as so much of a chore all the time to do things and try to make things work, because it is better whenever I'm just kind of like experimenting and like trying to do stuff. One of the things that I was working on is like mostly my textiles this week, because there was a part of it where it was talking about the Bronte, like in the Artist's Way, in the introduction they were talking about the Bronte sisters and like how their writing was found in needlework. And then she was like, well, whenever you think about it, they probably thought of a lot of those things while they were doing their needlework. And then I was like, oh well, that is kind of true, because it is one of those things, like as much as I complained about having to do it for like A-level art, and I think that's probably why it was like so heavily on my mind, it's not that like I didn't like textiles, it's just that I like didn't like having to do textiles I didn't want to do, and they weren't textiles. It was just sewing coasters onto like different types of fabrics or like crisp packets or something like that, because we were to be sustainable and like recycle stuff. I would believe that, but I don't. No, I just think that it's because we didn't have anything. Like because we didn't actually have the materials. I think it was probably that. I am like quite into fashion, and I've been trying to like do a bunch of different like textile stuff where I kind of upcycle a bunch of clothing instead of like having to always get like new clothes, because I like the idea of having like making my own clothes like I kind of used to, and then having like my own unique stuff, and like like hopefully maybe I could build on that later. It has like actually been helping me a lot to just kind of do it while I'm not really doing anything else, because like it's not, sewing's not actually that hard. It's just that it's so tedious that you don't like want to do it. That's why I spent most of the like art department days yapping instead of like really concentrating what I was doing. But they were all sewed. My boyfriend gave me these Jack and Jones skinny jeans to, he said like, oh, do whatever you want with them. I think he was like, oh, just like cut the legs off them, make them into shorts. Basically I chopped it, like I had this idea for like, you know, like one of those uneven kind of like choppy looking that are like sewed together looking type of things, and they're sometimes they'll like have a bunch of different types of denim in them that are kind of like popular now. um it actually, like I tried it on earlier, it actually doesn't look that, but it fits quite well. So like this is the front of it, it's kind of like these two parts. These two parts come out, and then also that's like the back of it. I'm planning on like, okay, obviously the sewing marks on that are so very obviously visible because I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just kind of like seeing if I could do it. I think if I sew up the sides of it a little bit more, I like might try it on like later after I finished everything off. But like I'll secure the backs of it a bit more so then it covers me or whatever because it does kind of cover me. It's just that I don't want it to like have gaps. So that's the jeans my boyfriend gave me, and then I had like these bench trousers that I had to turn into shorts, and I use like the rest of the leg parts as like the different layers, which I think kind of look cool. But I'll use the rest of the leftovers from those jeans, and then like basically make another layer, but that's more like straight that goes across the skirt, just to like cover up those sewing marks now that I know what I'm doing, and then kind of give it a bit more of like an edge. I also took the bottom of those jeans and I'm gonna try and like work on make my first like DIY TikTok thing about like making my leg warmers because I see them all the time on TikTok and I just want to like first of all I want to practice but also just to like see what I can do. That I'm gonna like use some of the leftover materials for my bench jeans and everything. And while I was like kind of drawing out like what I wanted to do with like those leg warmers, I like always cut the sleeves off of like shirts and like jumpers and then just like use them as leg warmers to varying success. Sometimes it doesn't look good. And one of the times that it didn't look good, it was like a t-shirt dress thing that I used it for that are grey. But while I was like looking up stuff that I could like use for my leg warmers, I was like seeing these rave leg warmers, and then I realized like this is another way. I have a bad habit of like holding on to absolutely everything, like kind of borderline hoarder style, because I don't want to ever throw like anything away, especially like materials, because I see it like as a waste. It's not like you can give it away or anything. But I could use like the leftover materials from a bunch of stuff and then like sew them onto it and kind of make it look like a distressed type of thing. So anyway, now I'm gonna try and do my reading for week 2 because I still haven't done that, and then try and edit this and do whatever I need to do.